5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program. Is your host of About Space, David Denault.
Welcome and thanks for joining me today as we count down the days until the Perseverance Mars 2020 rover lands on the Red Planet. Our Space Coast news editor, Dawn Meyer, will have a report on collecting the Martian soil and rock samples and then returning them to Earth. Next on About Space Today. Are you ready to fly away on a dream vacation? For cruises and all-inclusive resort vacations, call D&D Cruise and Tours at 877-747-8631. That's 877-747-8631. And see us on Facebook, D&D Cruise and Tours, where your dreams become a reality. Welcome back. And one of the most exciting things will be for us to see and hear the landing. And that will be another first for NASA. About Space Today, we'll have live coverage of the February 18th landing. And with more on how the samples will be collected and returned is Dawn Meyer.
Mars 2020 Perseverance rover is the first step in the Mars Sample Return Mission project, a multi-mission effort to bring the first pristine samples from Mars back to Earth. At JPL, Raquel Villanueva, Jessica Samuels, the lead flight systems engineer, and Austin Nicholas, the lead mission engineer, explain how the rover sample return missions will work and ultimately how the samples will be returned to Earth.
Hi, I'm Raquel Villanueva here at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Now, it has been a dream of scientists for generations to bring back samples from the surface of Mars. Now, right now, the Mars 2020 rover mission is laying the groundwork for that to happen. We're in a testing lab affectionately known as the Sandbox, and I'm here with Austin Nicholas. Now, can you explain how we are going to bring back samples from Mars?
So starting from after 2020 has deposited tubes on the surface, there are 2 more missions to go in bringing the tubes back to Earth. The first is a lander mission. It carries 3 major elements: a sample fetch rover and a sample transfer arm that lets you transfer the samples from the fetch rover into the rocket, and a Mars ascent vehicle, which is a rocket that brings the samples from Mars into space. Meanwhile, the orbiter has also launched from Earth in 2026 and is making its way towards Mars, and it'll be in position by the time the rocket's fully loaded. The orbiter will then go to the sample container that the rocket's put into space and then capture it, ultimately bringing them to Earth in 2031. Within NASA, we've actually got a number of centers working on all of the different pieces. So we're partnering with Marshall Space Flight Center for the Mars Ascent Vehicle, Langley and Ames for the Earth Entry Vehicle, Glenn for the sample fetch rover wheels, and we're partnering with Goddard for the orbiter payload. And so there's really it's a whole NASA effort to get Mars sample return done.
Bringing Mars samples back to Earth will allow scientists across the world to examine the specimens using sophisticated instruments that are too large and too complex to send to Mars. Jeff Gramling, the Mars Sample Return Program Director at NASA headquarters, said that the Mars sample return will foster significant engineering advances for humanity and advanced technologies needed to successfully realize the first round-trip mission to another planet. The scientific advances offered by pristine Martian samples through Mars sample return are unprecedented, and this mission will contribute to NASA's eventual goal of sending humans to Mars. I'm looking forward to the landing of Perseverance on Mars. From the Florida Space Coast, this is Dawn Meyer for About Space Today. Back to you, David.
And listen next week when Dawn will bring us a report on those special collection tubes. And remember to invite your family and friends to listen to our podcast and follow us on Facebook at aboutspace.today. And to our many friends in the U.S. and around the globe, thank you for listening and be safe during these wintry days. I'm David Denault, and this has been About Space Today.